Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gina, and in today's video we are going to look at a bunch of Hoyas. Today I'm going to share with you my entire small leaf Hoya collection. And I know there's at least 50, maybe like 60 plants that we're going to look at. So the reason for this video, the point of this video is to show you, for those of you out there who are wanting to add new Hoyas to your collection, but you're not, there are so many Hoyas out there and you don't know what they all look like. And this is just, it's like a little catalog. This will be like a little catalog of different types of small leaf Hoyas that are available, that are out there for you to purchase. And I am focusing on small leaf Hoyas because I have always been a huge fan of the small leaf Hoyas. They are my favorite. Not that I don't love the large leaf also, because I do, but I don't know. Small leaf Hoyas just hold a special place in my heart, special place. And yeah, I'm typically, when I'm buying new Hoyas, they are going to be small leaf Hoyas. So that's just how it is. Okay, so you can see right here, I have a bin full of some Hoyas. So now the majority of my plants live in my grow tent. I do have a few of my small leaf Hoyas up in ambient conditions, but I have moved most of them to the grow tent because I want them to really grow. I live in a dry climate and Hoyas do fine in dry climates. However, if you give them warm temperatures and high humidity and really nice bright light, they will really take off. And the reason that I want that is because I have a plant shop where I take propagations from my plants and then I sell the plants, the propagations in my plant shop. So for me, the more they grow, the faster they grow, the better. If I did not have my plant shop, I would most definitely have the majority of my Hoyas up here in ambient conditions. But yeah, and you're gonna see, so some of the Hoyas you're gonna see, they're going to be fairly decent size. They'll be kind of bigger. Some are just gonna be propagations because the mother plants of those are in my grow tent. They live on a grid system, which I'll include what that grid system looks like. And I cannot easily remove those plants from the grid system because the vines have wound their way through the grid system. So it's just easier for me to take a propagation, a sample of what that plant looks like. It looks exactly the same as the mother plant, except it's going to be a little bit smaller. And then one final thing before we dig into this box here, we have another box sitting right here. And I just received this in the mail today. And this is a couple of new small leaf Hoyas to add to my collection. So we're going to open that. We're going to unbox that together. And we'll do that at the end. So, all right. So now I am not going to go into great deal on these plants because there's just so many. There's so many. And I mostly want to just show you, give you the names of these plants, let you look at what they look like see if it's something that you would be interested in adding to your collection. And then I will include pictures of the flowers because for me, part of the fun with Hoyas is the flowers, and I like to see what the flowers look like. So like I said, this is like a catalog of some small leaf Hoyas for those of you who are looking for inspiration for plants to add to your collection. Personally, I love videos like this because there are just so many Hoyas out there, and it's just a great way to see what's available, what they look like. And I do have some not so common ones, which is good. Nothing worse than going to a Hoya video and it's all the common stuff. Although, we love Hoya, so we're happy looking at any kind of Hoya. But seeing something that is just a little bit more rare is a lot of fun, I think. Okay, and then also most of the plants I pick up from Etsy. So like this box right here, this came from a shop on Etsy. It's an Etsy shop. So that's just what I do. And also when I purchase the plants, I also typically go very small, like rootless, no roots cuttings of plants. So so you're going to see some of those that I have picked up this year that are still pretty small because they just started out as like a 2-leaf, 1-node cutting. Yeah, so anyway, let me be quiet and let's jump into this box. Okay, first up, this here is your classic OG Hoya Sigilatis. I have actually struggled with this plant. It has not been very easy for me, especially in ambient conditions. It's never been a really great grower for me. But for some reason this year it has, this is my Sigilatis, Hoya Sigilatis year of successful growing. It has gotten really big. It's gotten really big. I actually have 2 pots that look like this. This one is a little bit bigger than the other one. And I'll probably end up selling that other one. So if anyone is like excited to add Sigilatis to your collection, I will be having something that looks like this. This is the one I'm going to keep most likely. But the other one looks very similar to this. So Sigilatis is just a real pretty, splashy, almost kind of silvery, but also like when the new leaves come out, look at the pink. Look at that pretty pink. Look at that. A little bit of sun stressing. Just really gorgeous, right? When the plant is happy, it is a super lovely Hoya to have in your collection. It's not like a super tiny small leaf, but I would consider it definitely a small leaf Hoya. So Hoya Sigilatis. Let's do my tiniest, my smallest leaf in my collection. So this here is the Hoya Tenchon Genensis. And it looks very similar to the Hoya Serpents, only the leaves are even tinier than the Hoya Serpents. But very similar shape to those leaves. Very similar shape. Pretty slow growing, a pretty slow growing plant in my experience. Yeah, and this here is actually some cuttings I took from my mother plant because the mother plant does live on the grid system, and the mother plant is actually in pon. It's one of just like 2 or 3 plants that I have not removed from pon. It's doing really, really great in it. So, but of course this is in soil and it is also doing great. So that's Hoya Tenchon Genensis. And this one, this is the Hoya ETS10. So this one has, I loved like the oval shape, kind of oval-y shape of these leaves with that really pretty splash on it. So this one also comes in a silver version, which I did get. I had the silver ETS10 and I purchased it. It was actually a rooted, lightly rooted, I would say, plant, and I had it shipped to me in the colder months, and it was originally, it was in pon, and I'm pretty sure it's my fault, but I think it let it dry out too much, and then when I transferred it from pon into soil, it didn't like it. So anyway, I ended up losing that plant. So I wish I had a ETS10 silver to share with you so you could see what it looks like, but unfortunately, I don't have it. I no longer have it. And it's a shame because that is a really expensive one. really expensive. I think I paid $60 for that plant, $60 or $70, and I lost it. It happens. It happens. I might try again, but I might wait actually for the price to come down before I try it again. But even this, okay, so this is a propagation. My mother plant is on the grid. I just thought it would be, and she's not huge. It's not a huge plant, but it trails longer than this one. And this one is just as easy to just pick out of the little tray and bring it up here, and you can see what it looks like. So I highly recommend this one. It's one of my favorites. Just love that splashiness to the leaves. Okay, so next up, this is the Hoya Gloriana, and you can see it has a really cute, tiny little leaf. I love how the little flowers, when it does flower, the flower, what do you call it? The peduncles come out at like between the leaves, like at the node and the leaves, you'll get little flowers coming out of there, and it's super cute. Love this plant and its growth pattern. This here is a propagation, which will end up in my shop. You'll see this one in my shop. But the mother plant is on the grid system, and she's much bigger than this one, but yeah, they're beautiful plants. Hoya Gloriana, another one that I would highly recommend adding to your small leaf Hoya collection. So this here, this is the Hoya Lithopitica, and this one, I love the shape of this leaf on this one. So you can see it's a small leaf. The leaves don't get super big. This is pretty much as big as the leaves get. A really nice, solid, kind of a medium to dark green shade. Looks good on a trellis. It kind of grows like, and if you're familiar with it, the Hoya Kumana, which we're going to look at. The Hoya Kumana actually is one of the only plants that I have in my ambient conditions. I think this one would do really well in ambient conditions also, just because it's just so similar to the Kumana. But the leaf shape is a little bit different. Just a little bit different. This one is almost like more teardrop, whereas the Kumana is a little bit more round, a little bit more rounded in shape. But yeah, Hoya Lithopitica. Lovely little small leaf Hoya. The next one I have here, this is the Hoya Gloriana, which this is not my mother plant. My mother plant lives on the grid system, and that one for sure I was unable to remove it. So, but this was two pots of the Hoya Gloriana Variegata that I made propagations, and I combined them into this 4-inch pot, and I am planning to keep this one. I would like to get like a full pot of this, and in addition to my mother plant, I don't know, I just want to have a nice big full pot of this because it's just such a beautiful plant. It's stunning. It's definitely, it's kind of, I guess you would consider it more common. I guess you could, not that you're going to find it like at a big box store or something like that, but it is easy to find and it's not that expensive. And yeah, it's just a beautiful addition. And I wish I had I could go right into my other types of Glorianas that I have. Unfortunately, they're in another bin that I have to go get. But yeah, this is the inner variegated Hoya Gloriana. Beautiful plant. Highly recommend. Okay, so we're going to look at some Hoya Bellas now, and yay for putting them all in the same bin. I actually did that with this one. So first up, this is the Hoya Bella Variegated, and this one has the outside variegation. As you can see, outside margins have the lighter color variegation, All of them have the same exact growth pattern. They're all Hoya bellas. They just have a little bit of differences in color with them. So this is the variegated, a lovely trailing habit to this one. And it can get pretty big. And the bellas are pretty known for flowering pretty prolifically, and I think mostly probably the next one I'm going to show you, the OG Hoya Bella, just the plain old solid green. I think these probably flower, I don't know, maybe they all flower the same, but definitely this one here will flower pretty readily for you. So now, like the variegated one, this one, both of them, all the bellas I'm going to be sharing with you here are propagations from my mother plants. So the mother plants are all on the grid system. It's just easier for me to grab one of the propagations, and really cute, right? So that's the solid green Hoya Bella. And then I have one other Hoya Bella, which is also a variegated version, and this one is called the Louis Bois, and I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but now this one has the variegation on the inside of the leaves. So the lighter shade, the variegation, is in the center of the leaf, as opposed to the other one that the variegation was on the margins, the outside margins of the leaf. This is a real tiny little propagation, which will be available in my shop, but not for a while. I am letting these get bigger. It is going to grow bigger before I sell it, but yeah, super cute. Now, of the three, which is my favorite? So here they are, of the three, which, you know, I kind of always tend to go for the OGs. Just I'm a more plain type person, so I really do love just the regular solid green. Yeah, I always go for the underdogs and everything. To me, this is, well, I call it the underdog because this is going to be the cheapest. It's going to be the cheapest cost-wise. And second place, well, my second favorite of the three types of bellas, I would say, is probably the Louis Bois. And of course, this one then is the most expensive of the three. You know what? They need to come out with a Hoya Bella Silver. Do they have a Hoya Bella Silver? Does anybody know? Can you imagine the price tag on a Hoya Bella Silver? I think it would be huge. Yeah, I think it would be. But anyway, the Hoya Bellas are a wonderful, just wonderful small leaf Hoya for your collection, and three different types, at least three different types to choose from. Are there others? Are there others? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just those three, but I could be wrong. Maybe there is a Hoya Bella Silver out there. Not sure. Okay, finally, the last one in this grouping is a Croniana. Now this is what they call the Hoya Croniana Black. And you can see that beautiful, beautiful black leaf. It's not really black. It's just a super dark green shade, but it's just so dark that it just almost looks black. I love how little these leaves are. They can get bigger. The leaves can get bigger. So of course now this is also a propagation. My mother plant is huge. She's big. She's kind of looks a little, I don't know. In my experience with that plant, the older the plant, and it's an old plant, the stems, like these stems here, they start to get kind of woody, and they just kind of look kind of not the prettiest in my opinion. Like these fresh new vines like this, they're nice and green and just really healthy looking. Whereas even though like on the mother plant, her old stems, they're healthy. They just take on just like a woody look and they just don't look as good. And like the older leaves just start to look they look a little grayish and just not as pretty. But anyway, she's huge and she's got a lot of new growth on her, and it's actually grown up and it's attached itself to the grid system. So that's why I didn't bring it up here. That's why I just grabbed one of her babies. But this gives you a perfect look of what this plant looks like. Hoya Croniana black. You're going to see another one, which unfortunately I also did not bring it in this bin, but I do have another Hoya Croniana black, but it's silver. And I forget the name of it, but you're going to see it. You're going to see it. So remember this. Remember what this Hoya Croniana black looks like. And then you can think back when you see the silver one. Yeah, I can compare it in your mind. Yeah, so Hoya Croniana black. All right, so that is this bin, and I'm going to go get some more bins. Okay, new bin. And I'm going to I purposely grabbed the Croniana Super Silver Black because we just looked at the Croniana Black. It's fresh in your mind. So this is what and I apologize, I'm out of breath because I have to run down the stairs, run back up. I'm fighting with light and time, and yeah, waited till the end of the day to do this. But anywho, so this is the Hoya Croniana Super Silver Black. So you can see it kind of has the look similar to the Croniana Black, only this one also has some silver splash. So basically, this one is the Croniana Black with some silver splash. Which do you like better? Which do I like better? I'm a big fan of silver, so even though this is tiny, okay, so this is my mother plant. So I purchased this off of Etsy, and it was just a cutting, an unrooted cutting that I stuck into soil, and you can see how much has grown. So it went from 2 leaves, I think 2 leaves, pretty sure. Unless it was fairly good size when she sent it. I don't remember. Anyway, it was an unrooted cutting. It is now rooted. It is growing. It is beautiful. Really nice small leaf to add to your collection. Love it. Hoya Croniana Super Silver Black. All right, so I'm going to grab this one next. So this here is called the Hoya Mini Bell. And glossy leaves, a dark green glossy leaf. Hoya has a tiny little bit of splash. I assume like other species, depending on the plant, it depends on how much splash the plant is going to have. Not sure. Okay, I really wanted this plant. I actually got this one in a trade. It must have, well, I'll put, I'm sure I've been putting up pictures of what the flowers on these look like. I have a feeling I really wanted this one because of the flower. Pretty sure, but anyway. Not a super small leaf Hoya, but I still, maybe it's the name that makes me include it. Mini Bell, that makes me include it in this collection of small leaf Hoyas, but it's not a huge leaf Hoya, so it fits. It fits. All right, so that's Hoya Mini Bell. Nice one. A fairly new one. So this one here is called the Hoya Spectatissima. And you can see this one also, I believe was just a cutting. Pretty sure. Gosh, it grew really fast because I have not had this plant that long. I need another little thingy, a thingy, one of these thingies, a little dragonfly clip to attach it to this trellis. There. So this one is just a nice kind of oval shape. And is it fuzzy? Let's see. Yes, it has little, you can't see it, I'm sure, but little tiny little fuzziness to the leaves. And yeah, it's a cute one. Nice little small leaf Hoya, Hoya spectatissima. Now this one for sure was just little unrooted cuttings. Now all these that you're seeing here are my mother plants. So they're just babies. I'm not currently propagating them for my shop, obviously, because they're just too tiny. So this one here is the Hoya Lacunosa Variegated. I love this plant. I'm super excited to watch this one grow this year. And I think it's just beautiful. And it's a little bit more of a common one. So the price on these I don't think is huge. But yeah, it's definitely a nice one to add to your small leaf Hoya collection. Love it. Now this is adorable. Okay, so this is the Hoya Curtisi, and this one was actually a little freebie. I love how splashy this one is. Very silvery splashy to it. Okay, so back here, let me grab it. It's not even in the frame, but it's really, really long. It's also a Curtisi, and let's see if I can do this. Okay, this here is also Hoya Curtisi, and this is my original plant. I've had this plant for a really long time. Here you can kind of see what I was talking about, woody stems. You can kind of see it pretty clearly on this one. I mentioned it with my Hoya Croniana black, which I'm not really crazy about how that looks, like the older woody stems as opposed to like the newer, yeah, just kind of the newer, fresher stems on these. But anyway, I've had this one for a really long time. I love this plant, and it's different. So if you look at, let's see if we can compare here. Okay. They're just a little bit different from each other. Both Hoya Curtisi, but this one here, the leaves are a little bigger than my original, I think, for the most part. And they're definitely more splashy. So, yeah, there can be a variance in the amount of splash on your plant, as you can clearly see here, I think. I kind of like this one better. This one's a little bit more, it's more splashy, and it's also younger. It's a younger plant, so it just looks more fresh. This one looks kind of old, and this one looks more fresh. We shouldn't be age discriminating, but here I am doing it. Cute, right? Both of these are Hoya Curtisi, a must, I think, for the small leaf Hoya collection. Love this plant. It can be, I've seen or heard people have struggled with that one. Even I have struggled a little bit. For a while there, I was losing some leaves on that plant. But even though, what is that? I think it's perlite. A little bit of perlite. Yeah, it's perlite. Perlite. What was I saying? Oh, struggling? Yeah, it struggled. It did struggle for me for a little bit. But even though it was losing some leaves. It still, it hangs in there. And yeah, love the plant. Definitely recommend this one. Love it. Really cute. Hoya Curtisi. All right, next up we have, oh, okay, this is fun. I thought it was another Lacunosa, but it's not. So this here is the Hoya Parva Flora Splash. And once again, okay, so this is my mother plant. My mother plant is tiny, but I received it as just little cuttings, unrooted cuttings. So yeah, this one has some, it's going to be growing out a bit before I have this, before I propagate this one for my shop. But you can see, look how pretty that is. Very pretty. Yeah, I thought it would be, I was looking for small leaf Hoyas, and I thought this would make a nice addition to my collection. Hoya Parva Flora Splash. And the next, let's do, oh yeah, okay. This one, not a very good example of this plant for you, but so this is Hoya Duenses. And so I actually remember unboxing this with you guys, and this was like 2 cuttings. I remember 2 cuttings, and I wasn't sure which way was up or down on the cutting to plant it. And I remember saying to myself, well, does it really matter? Is it really going to matter which way I plant it? It does matter, because I planted it upside down and it didn't grow. It just, yeah, it wasn't looking good. So I flipped it, and after I flipped it, it started to grow. So it does make a difference, in case you were wondering. But a real cute little ruffled edge on this one. Yeah, tiny, tiny little plant. But eventually, now that it is planted correctly, it should start, I mean, I've got a little growth point. You probably can't see it, but there is a little growth point in there, and I'm really looking forward to watching this one grow. A nice little small leaf Hoya, Hoya Duenses. Love it. Okay, let's see here. Let's grab, all right, so this here, this is a Croniana. You can totally looks like a Croniana, right? So this is just I purchased it as a Croniana splash. Not a whole lot of splash to this one, but this one can get really big, beautiful, like the leaves can get really big. So my original mother plant, what went on with that one? I think it got root rot actually. So I took cuttings of it, and this is what has grown back of the mother plant. But just really nice, glossy. Look at that, just that deep dark green and that patterning on there, kind of turtle shell patterning on this one. Yeah, it's just overall just a really pretty small leaf Hoya. Hoya Croniana Splash. Look at those roots. Look at those roots. So this is a Lacunosa, and this one is called Silver Lime. And you see it has lots of little silvery speckliness to it. The Lacunosas and the Cronianas, to me, are like so similar. Just, yeah, I mean, you can tell the difference between the leaf shapes. Totally different leaf shapes, but very similar, like growth pattern to these. And this one actually here is not, believe it or not, is not my mother plant. This was a propagation I made that just kept getting bigger and bigger. And now it is, I'm claiming it, I'm keeping it, and this is just a second plant for my collection because it's just too beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The Silver Lime, Hoya Lacunosa Silver Lime. That leaf's pretty long right there. Look at that. Compared to these up here, it gets pretty long. All right, next one. Let's do another Lacunosa. So this one is Lacunosa leopard skin. And the original leaves, so these are the original leaves here, came to me as a cutting. Once again, this is my mother plant, It was very silvery. The new growth, maybe some silver will grow into it, or maybe it won't. Maybe it has reverted. I can't tell. I guess time will tell. But interesting. That is one thing you risk when you purchase cuttings. Like even when I make propagations of my plants, sometimes the new growth comes out reverted. It just happens. So that is a risk you take with purchasing cuttings like this. But I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe there's a couple growth points there. So maybe the new growth points, I don't know. It does have like a little bit of a silvery tinge to it. So yeah. Anyway, Hoya Lacunosa leopard skin. There's so many different types of Lacunosas out there, and you're going to see a lot of Lacunosas in my collection because a lot of them are small leaves. They have small leaves. They all have small leaves. They're all considered small leaves. Okay, so this here is a Croniana, and this was actually a freebie that I got with another purchase. The seller included this little freebie. So now the original leaves, she calls this the Hoya Croniana true form. So I guess the leaves on this one, they're quite large. Like the true form leaves are quite large, which is interesting that this is what it looks like the new growth. It totally looks completely different from the original leaf. What is up with that? I don't know. I can't figure it out. It looks so much like, actually, what it looks like. It looks like the Lacunosa Amarillo, don't you think? The leaf shape is not quite right, but the patterning.
All right, so like quickly I want to show you, and by the way, we're on the floor of my grow tent. So this here is the plant that she sent, that she called it a Croniana true form. And then here to the left is one of my propagations of the Lacunosa Amarillo. So I am now convinced 100% that this is actually a Amarillo, Lacunosa Amarillo. The leaves are just too similar. Yeah, so yeah, just a little quick little interlude here, showing you what I discovered the day after making the video.
This one I am so excited about. So this here, oh my goodness. This here is the Hoya Manny Purensis. And I just recently added this one to my collection, so it was a little cutting. I think I even unboxed it with you guys. And look at what it has become. And I have to say, this is like one of my very favorite Hoyas in my collection. Like, I don't know why it took me so long to add one of these to my collection. Look at all this growth on this one. So there's like a growth point here. There's the main stem here. There's a growth point coming out down here. And just the shape of these leaves, they kind of look like shark teeth. Kind of, a little bit like a shark tooth. I don't know, but I absolutely adore this plant. Love it, and I can't believe it took me this long to add it to my collection. This is my mother plant, and yeah, she's growing pretty quickly, so maybe I'll be having this one in my shop this year. Who knows? Some of these, no way, not this year, but no, there's a chance this one could be in my shop this year. So Hoya Manny Purensis, love it, love this plant. All right, let's see, we did that. I this is the last one in this bin. This here, this is Hoya Limmonica, not sure how to pronounce it. This was gifted to me from Tamara. She just didn't want it anymore. She didn't like it. So she asked if I wanted it. I was like, sure. Yeah, it's it's not a whole lot to it. It actually has some veining. It has a little bit of veining in the leaf. Maybe you can see it. So it might be like one that might sunstress nicely, but not sure what the flowers look like. I'm sure the flower is up here and you can see what the flower looks like. I will never turn down a free small leaf Hoya. Happy to have it in my collection. Hoya Limmonica. I don't know how to pronounce it, but cute. All right, that is that bin. And I will go get more. All right, new bin, new tray. Okay, this next one is a really cute, really small. Another really small one, and this one is called the Hoya Minuta Flora. Just a real darling little small leaf, as you can see. Yeah, it's a minute little leaf, really cute. Love it. Not a big, it's not, again, I purchased it as just a little cutting, so I don't have a big, this is my mother plant, but I don't have like a big, it's not a big specimen, but you get the idea of what it looks like. And it grows pretty quickly, I would say, pretty quick. All right, this next one is a stunning plant. Okay, so this is called the Hoya Walinana Variegated. It looks a lot, color-wise, it looks a lot like the Hoya Hushkeliana Variegata, but this just has bigger leaves. It has a much bigger leaf, and it's beautiful. So this I would call my mother plant. I have two of these, and they're both about the same size. This one does live on my grid system. However, you see how it kind of trails, kind of like a Lacunosa, kind of has the same kind of growth pattern to it. It's not a climber, so it didn't attach itself to the grid. It's more of a trailing plant, and it's just really pretty. Hoya Waliniana Variegata. Love it. All right, next one. This one was also hanging on the grid, but again, it didn't, more trailing than climbing. So I was able to remove it. So this here is kind of a rare one. This one is called the Hoya Lei Prism Pink. And it has beautiful variegation, like outside margin variegation on it. And it can get pink. So mine seems to have lost the pink, but I think it's because it's in lower light. And so I think the higher light this one is given, the more pink you're going to have come out. Or maybe it's just pink on the newest leaves, although this is a newer leaf and there's not much pink on it. So, but anyway, it's a beautiful plant, kind of on the pricier side of Hoyas, a little bit more rare, but highly recommend. Hoya Lei Prism Pink. And I do have I don't have it in this bin, but I do have regular Lei that I will be showing you. All right, so next, a propagation from my mother plant. This is Hoya Kumana Variegated. So the variegation on this one is on the outside of the leaf, and the green is in the center. Really cute. I always say the Kumana is my happy plant. It's just a happy plant. It just looks happy. I will show you, I have also a regular solid green Kumana, which lives in ambient. It lives up here on the shelf. I will be showing that one to you. In fact, maybe I'll grab it down next so you can see it, compare it to this one. But definitely a must-have small leaf Hoya for your collection. And I actually just ordered another Kumingiana, since I love them so much because they make me so happy, the happy plants. I ordered an inside variegation. So this one, the variegation's on the outside of the leaves. This new one I'm getting, the variegation is in the middle, down the center with the darker green on the outside. Unfortunately, that's not in this box. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'll show you guys. I'll show it to you when I do receive it. But yeah, so Kumingiana variegated, Albomarginata variegation. So let me quickly, I'm going to grab the other one. Okay, so this here is also Hoya Kumingiana. However, it is just a solid green. There is no variegation on these leaves, but it is a really cute small leaf. This is my original mother plant. I also have another one on the grid system down in my grow tent that I propagate from. This one it needs propagating. Look at this craziness. It's pretty crazy, but you can see the difference between, hopefully you can see just the difference. Same leaf shape, just different coloration. Hoya Kumingiana. Really cute. Okay, so while I was up there, I also grabbed this other little small leaf Hoya because these are actually the only two, well, okay, one of 3 small leaf plants that live in ambient conditions. So this one here, what is that? Oh, I was like, what is that? This is just sap from when I cut this, when I propagated, and the sap dripped on that leaf. That's what that white is. So this here is Hoya Ching Hungensis. Kind of a wacky one, wacky grower, but really cute. I sell this one in my shop a lot. Just a real cute little small leaf Hoya. Highly recommend this one. I've had this in my collection for quite a while. I love this plant. I've always loved this plant. Hoya Ching Hungensis. A wonderful small leaf Hoya. All right, back to the tray. So this has the look of a Lacunosa, same trailing habit. However, this one is called the Hoya EPC319. And not sure exactly what made me add this one to my collection. I would guess it had to be the flower. That's my guess. Or sometimes when I'm ordering something from a shop, and if you spend so much money, they give you a discount on shipping. Sometimes I'll just throw in something else. This could be one, I just threw in this with my order just to get it over a certain threshold for free shipping or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, it's cute. Nothing like super special about the leaves. So if there has to be something, for some reason, that I added this. I'm guessing it has to be the flower, but I'm not sure. Like I said, it could have just been to get free shipping. I don't know. But EPC319. It's nice. It's nice. Okay, let's do... Oh boy, didn't realize how long this was. It's super long. This here is a Lacunosa, similar, just of the EPC 319 we just looked at. This is very similar growth pattern. Lacunosa, this is Lacunosa Moonlight. And look at how beautiful. It has that just shimmery silver look to it. Yeah, love it. I don't think this is my mother plant. I think my mother plant is actually attached to the grid, and this was a propagation I made, and I just ended up hanging on to it because it just got so big. Sometimes I do that. When they get super big like this, I just hang on to them. I don't sell them, and I'll just actually propagate from this also. But yeah, Hoya Lacuna Moonlight. Very pretty. And this one is super cute because I'll just let that dangle. This here is Hoya Carme. Love these tiny little deep green little leaves. Super cute. So I have tried propagating this one. I actually have like 3 little cups of propagations of this plant, and it is so slow to grow. That's why it hasn't, I may have sold one. Sometimes like I'll make a few different cuttings, and one of the cuttings will just like take off. It'll be like a really fast grower, and the other ones will be really slow. So anyway, this will eventually be in my shop, but it's just really slow growing. But it's super adorable. Just love this tiny little leaves. Deep green, tiny little leaves. Hoya Carme. And let's see, let's do this one. So this here is the Hoya David Kumingii. And I know I got this one also in a trade. I think it was, pretty sure it was a trade. Yeah, it was a trade. I think so. I really wanted this one because of the flower. It gets I'm pretty sure it's pink. A really pretty pink flower on this one. You know, nothing like super special about the leaves. I mean, they do have that glossy, deep green color. But for this one, I'm pretty sure it's all about the flower for this one. Hoya David Kumingii. And gosh, there's a lot of small leaf Hoyas, aren't there? Okay, this is the Hoya Lima Splash. Another one with that same kind of ovally shape, but with a pretty splash on it. This is a propagation. This is a propagation. It'll eventually be in my shop. The mother plant is on the grid, but yeah. Hoya Lima Splash. Another option for your small leaf Hoya collection. And let's do this one. So this here is the Hoya Nummularioides, one of my absolute favorites. It's just, yeah, it's the leaf shape I love. It's kind of fuzzy and soft, and I just love it. And this is a propagation, which also will be available in my shop at some point. The mother plant is, oh gosh, oh yeah. So I had it sitting on a shelf in my grow tent, and it has attached itself. It grew up behind the shelf up and attached itself to the grid system. So that is why I have brought this to you to see what this plant looks like, because the mother plant is attached to the grid. But Hoya Nummularioides, super cute. And I wasn't sure if this qualified as small leaf. I kind of feel like it qualifies. So this is Hoya Burmanica. Yeah, I think it qualifies as small leaf. It's not a huge leaf, you know, but it's not a tiny leaf, but it's really cute. So this also is a propagation. My mother plant actually is here. You can't see it, but it hangs in this room. That's the original one that I've taken all my cuttings from. This is actually kind of, I feel like this is kind of bigger than my mother plant, actually, kind of. I think so. But yeah, it grows really fast. So this one grows in my grow tent, but the mother plant grows in ambient. and does great. So it can do either. It just has to acclimate, I guess. But yeah, they do great. Great plant. Awesome plant. Great growth pattern on this one. Hoya Burmanica. And let's see. I think there's just one left from this tray. And it's a really cute one. My second smallest leaf in my collection. So this is Hoya Serpents. However, there are two different types of Hoya Serpents in this cup. So we have silver, Hoya Serpent Silver, and then over here we just have a Hoya Serpent Splash, which it doesn't have a ton of splash. It doesn't have a ton of splash, but technically it is a Hoya Serpent Splash. You can kind of see the little splash here on this leaf. Love this plant. Super excited to watch it. This was another one that just started as a cutting. It was like $50 for an unrooted cutting, like 2 leaves, ridiculous. But it's grown, you know, once it's settled in, it's done pretty well growing in. So this is my mother plant here. This extra one, the splash in this one, was actually a freebie that came with when I purchased this one. They included a cutting of splash also. So that's why I just potted them up together. But yeah, love it. One of my favorites in my collection. All right, time to get another tray. Okay, moving right along. Are you guys sick of looking at small leaf Hoyas yet? Because we still have a lot to do. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're not sick of it. Okay, this is the Hoya Numelarioides Silver. So we looked at the regular, just plain green Numelarioides. This is the silver version, which in my opinion, they are hardly alike. I mean, I don't see how they're, I mean, when I purchased this one, the silver version of it, I was hoping it would just be like the regular Numelarioides, except silver coloration, but it's just like its own thing. I don't know. It doesn't really even feel the same. It has a nice texture to it, kind of a latexy texture to it, but no fuzziness. Like there's no like velvety fuzziness like the regular Numelarioides, so I don't know. But it's pretty. I have no regrets adding this one to my collection. Hoya Numelarioides Silver. Really cute, really pretty. Pretty fast growing. Pretty fast growing. All right, the opposite of fast growing. So this here is my Hoya petiolata Splash. A gorgeous plant. And once again, I'm not sure, mine has small leaves. I'm not sure, like a full mature plant might actually be a bigger leaf. I don't know. But since mine is pretty small, the leaves are pretty small, I'm including it in my small leaf Hoya collection, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love it. Hoya petiolata Splash. Okay, next, let's grab this one. What is this? Hoya Gloriana? Yes, that's what I thought. This here is the Hoya Gloriana, and this one does have some splash. So there is another one in my collection called the Hoya Genensis Splash that is very similar. They look very similar. Now the Genensis, it is on my grid. If I might be able to slip in a picture here so you can see, compare the two, like how much they look like each other. But yeah, we're just going to have a picture of the Genensis Splash. I'm not going to be bringing that one up here, and I don't have a propagation to share with you of that one. So, but they're so similar, so very similar. But yeah, really pretty. Nice shape to the leaf, nice splash on those leaves, nice growing plant, a great little small leaf. Hoya, Hoya Gloriana, and Hoya Biacensis Splash. Okay, let me set this down here, and let's grab this one next. So, love this plant. This is the Hoya Patella Pink. Oh, she came out of her little, I had her attached with one of my little clips, and she popped herself right out of there. Hoya Patella Pink. So the best thing about this one is it gets these beautiful bell-shaped, no, maybe not bell-shaped, but large, beautiful, large pink blooms. And also these leaves are fuzzy. They're just beautiful. So my mother plant is attached to the grid system, and that one blooms all the time. And this is a propagation I made of that plant, which I'm keeping this because I want to keep it, because the mother plant, I never really get to see the blooms because it's like, she blooms like way in the corner of the grow tent, and I can't see it. I don't see it. So I want to be able to have a plant that I can like pull out, look at the blooms, enjoy those blooms. Hoya Patella Pink. Love this plant. Next is a fan favorite, Hoya Mathilde. So I have actually like 3 different plants of Hoya Mathilde. I have one that has very little splash, another one that has a little bit of splash, and then I have this one was a propagation I made from my mother plant where I pulled a really like silvery leaf. So this is almost like Hoya Mathilde silver, right? I pulled those leaves, propagated those leaves to try and get a really silvery plant. This is probably my splashiest that I have. Unfortunately, well, this strand is okay. Pretty high splash on it. There's another one. You'll find that it happens. You'll always have like a couple strands that are just not as splashy as the others. It's just, yeah, it just depends on where that vine pops out of from the original plant, whether or not it's going to have a lot of splash or it's not going to have a lot of splash. But I think this is just a perfect little representation of the Hoya Mathilde. Just beautiful, just gorgeous. Love it. It's one of my favorite.
So I wanted to show you guys, this is one I forgot I was going to bring up, and I totally forgot. This is the Hoya Mathilde, but this is the variegated version. And this, the reason I didn't bring it up, I wanted to film it in here. There's Nora, little Nora. I wanted to film it in here because this one, I purchased it as a cutting, unrooted, and it popped out, and you can see it's dead there to the right. It popped out a stem and some 1 or 2 leaves, and it ended up dying off. So, and now it does have a new growth point with some new leaves. So I don't know, I'm afraid to really like subject this one to anything but grow tent conditions right now, just because I feel it's kind of fragile. But it's a beautiful plant. I'm super excited to watch this one grow. A great addition to my small leaf Hoya collection. Hoya Mathilde Variegated.
We'll do this one. This is a Lacunosa, and this is Lacunosa Luisa Silver. And just a very pretty silvery leaf. Classic Lacunosa leaf shape. I have quite a few different varieties of the Lacunosa. Luisa Silver. And let's see, one of my favorites. Do I keep saying that? I think I do. This is Hoya Lorelyn, Hoya Kentiana Lorelyn. So this plant, this one has variegation. This Kentiana is variegated on the outside margins. So not only do you get that white coloration on the outside margins, but it also will put out some pink, as you can see here. So my mother plant has attached herself to the grid. It was easier for me to grab this one. So this was propagation from the mother plant. It's actually two separate pots of Lorelyn that I put together because I want to get myself I just want another really full plant of this one because it's just one of my favorites. Hoya Lorelyn. Love it. Look at this solid white leaf here. Stunning plant. And love this next one. So this here is the Hoya Thomsonii Splash. It's another really fuzzy leaf Hoya. Has splashiness. It gets beautiful flowers. This has it all. This plant has it all. I love it. One of my favorites, Hoya Thomsonii Splash. A lovely small leaf Hoya for your collection. This is the Hoya VL9. Really cute, kind of bean shape to the leaves. Love that dark green coloration. This is just a propagation from my mother plant. My mother plant actually looks red or purpley red because it is so close to the grow lights that it has just sun stressed. So it can sun stress like a really pretty dark red purple coloration. This will be in my shop at some point. Hoya VL9. And another unique one. This is Hoya Rotunda Flora, which has these like square shaped leaves. A propagation from my mother plant. This is a propagation I am keeping. And yeah, just a fun one, really fun one. Beautiful. And then we have, I love this one too. This one is called the Hoya EPC319. Looks very similar to the VL9. What's the difference, guys? Very similar, right? Must be a difference in the flowers. Not sure. Don't know why I bought both. There has to be a reason I bought both. But yeah, real cute. Love it. GPS 7240. This one probably with sun stress also. Is this my mother plant? I think this is my mother plant, so yeah. Cute. And then I have another variegated one. This is a Lacunosa, and this is Lacunosa Asami. So this one is a variegated one with outside margin variegation. Really nice grower. Look at this leaf. A lot of variegation on that one. Some not as much, some more, but really nice growing one. Lacunosa Asami. And I think that is this tray. I'll go get another one. Okay, last bin. We're down to our last bin. But this is not in the bin because this is too big for the bin. So this here is the Hoya Kanyaku Mariana. I have had this plant in my collection for a very long time. You can kind of tell by its woodiness how those stems, the older the plant is, the woodier the stems start to look. But it is a beautiful one, similar to, I think, the Duenses with the shape of the leaves. These are such stiff leaves. They have such stiff little leaves, almost like paper. Love this plant. Kind of a slow grower, but a fun one. Beautiful, one of my bigger ones. And, oh, this, I told you I have, so we looked at the Hoya Lei Prism Pink. I told you I have the regular, and that's what this is. The regular, just the plain green Hoya Lei. Super cute, fuzzy. It has fuzzy little leaves. Yeah, Hoya Lei. Nice little small leaf Hoya. And then this, we looked at the Hoya Hushkiliana Variegated with the inside variegation of the leaves. So this is the elbow marginata variegated Hushkiliana. So the variegation is on the outside of the leaves with this one. Really nice. This is a propagation from the mother plant. So eventually this actually will be in my shop. And then speaking of Hushkiliana, this is my other Hushkiliana. So this one is Hushkiliana yellow. So this one has solid green, and I love this plant so much. It has solid green glossy leaves, and it's called yellow because this one will put out yellow flowers. It gets yellow flowers. And there's also a Hushkiliana pink. Looks just like this, except it puts out pink flowers. And I'm considering getting the pink also because I just love the Hushkilianas, and I can complete my collection if I get the pink. This is a propagation, which will be in my shop eventually. The mother plant is totally attached to the grid system, and she blooms all the time and has the best smelling blooms. I think, is that one? Pretty sure that one has a pretty fragrant scent. But at any rate, it gets this cutest little yellow blooms, and I just love it. So much enjoy it. Hoya Hushkiliana yellow. This one is fairly new to my collection. This is Hoya Paradisia, I believe. So this one, look how cute this is. This one was gifted to me from Kira. She bought a plant for my shop, came to pick it up. She's local-ish, kind of local-ish to me. So and she brought this so kindly, brought me a pretty large size cutting of this plant. This is just a part of it. I like broke it up into like 3 plants. But, and I think it gets really neat, like big flowers. Super excited about this plant. So happy to have it. Hoya Paradisia. Love that. Thank you, Kira. So this next one is a staple, and I hope this can be considered a small leaf Hoya. I consider it a small leaf Hoya, but you know, the leaves can get a little bit big. This is Hoya Sunrise, and this one, Sunstress, is a beautiful red. This is not my mother plant. This is a propagation, and it will be in my shop. I keep saying that, but yeah, at some point this will be in my shop very soon. My mother plant she sits on a top shelf in my grow tent, but she's like trails, like her stems have like attached to the top of the grow tent, so it's just easier for me to grab a propagation. Hoya Sunrise. Gorgeous plant and blooms all the time. My mother plant blooms all the time. This, a stunning one. This is Hoya Sigilatis Silver, and we already looked at this Sigilatis, like one of the first plants we looked at, just the regular OG Sigilatis. Well, this is her more expensive cousin, brother, relative, the Hoya Sigilatis Silver. Isn't it stunning? So look at this. So I got this plant. It was an import that I received. Pretty big import that I like chopped up into multiple plants. This was the biggest of all the plants I made. I mean, it's grown since I potted it up in this, but this is the one I'm keeping. So this is my mother plant. Even though I have multiple pots of this, this is the biggest pot, my mother plant. Hoya Sigilatis silver. Stunning, gorgeous, gorgeous plant. Similar to the Hoya Sunrise, we have here Hoya Rebecca. Love this plant. Also will sun stress, get some red sun stressing on it. This you would think is my mother plant. It is not my mother plant. This is a propagation that will be for sale in my shop. But yeah, my mother plant also has done what the Sunrise has done, attaching itself. Just very difficult to try and get it out. So I just grabbed this little easier to manage specimen of Hoya Rebecca. And again, this one blooms prolifically. This particular one has not bloomed yet, but the mother plant blooms all the time. Hoya Rebecca. Love this one. Super wonderful small leaf Hoya. This is Hoya Variegated. So, very similar to the Lori Lynn that we looked at, except with the Lori Lynn, your variegation is on the outside. With this one, your variegation is on the inside. Both stunning plants. This one is the cheaper version, but in my opinion, it's no less beautiful, even though it's cheaper, like cost-wise it's cheaper. I think it's just as beautiful. So this is a propagation that will be in my shop. Eventually, the mother plant, I could have brought the mother plant. It was just, I don't know. It was just easier to grab this one. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And the mother plant used to live in ambient and did just fine. I don't know, I was moving things around and decided to just throw it into my grow tent. And it loves the grow tent also. But Hoya Variegated. I think that's it, you guys. Oh no. Okay, well, I wasn't sure if I should include this one in this video or not. So this is, I'm going to try and grab it. I'm going to try. This is Hoya linearis. Does that count as small leaf? I kind of feel like it kind of does. I feel like it kind of does count. Hoya linearis, it's got a small leaf on it. Yeah, this is my mother plant. She's huge. I have a couple of, actually, mother plants. I don't propagate from this one because this one blooms all the time for me. Or not all the time, but it blooms for me, so I'm afraid to cut off those peduncles. See how big? Very big plant. Yeah, you have to get a linearis. Have to get one of these in your collection. Super fun Hoya. All right, I got that put back, and I'm pretty sure, think I got all of them. I didn't show you the Lacunosa Amarillo because, well, for one, the mother plant is just kind of hard to get off the grid system in my grow tent, and I'll include a picture here of what it looks like. I do have some propagations, but they're just tiny. They're like, haven't really taken off yet, so. But anyway, it's a beautiful one. Definitely like my top 5 Lacunosa favorites. Yeah, I highly recommend adding that one to your collection. And I think that's it. So now let's open this. But first, I'm gonna get rid of this so I have some space. Okay, so this is, there's small leaf Hoyas in this box. I ordered this off of Etsy, and I believe it's 2 new small leaf Hoyas. For my small leaf Hoya collection, I thought this would be perfect for this video since we're talking about small leaves. So these plants here, I believe, are just cuttings. So they're unrooted cuttings, which is how I typically like to get my Hoyas. just because there's less chance of pests, like pests coming in with the package. So we have some fluff. Let's remove the fluff. And here, is that maybe freebies? No. No freebies. Okay, let's put the fluff back. So, I don't even remember what's in here. Luckily, they come with little name tags, or little plant identifier thingies. Kind of fancy, actually. These like little thingies. Oh yes, okay. I'm not going to say what they are just yet. Oh yeah, oh gosh, I'm so excited about it. I'm really excited about this. Okay, so what we have here, more fluff. Okay, so now this is a case where I wanted, the one was the main thing that I really wanted, but I think I added on the second one because it brought me to free shipping, or if you spend so much, you get a discount. They give you percentage off. So that's why I added the second to it. And I think there is a freebie in here. Maybe. Maybe, because it looks a little different, unless it's just a smaller version. It could just be, yeah. It's just one came with two cuttings, so they gave me an extra cutting of the one. All right, so what is it? This here, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this is the one that I just kind of added on. It's like I wasn't like desperate to get it. But this is Hoya Obcordata. I'm going to put that one down. So this is what this one looks like. Really cute, small leaf. Hoya Obcordata. So I will take this and I will just, there's a little fuzz, and I will put this into soil, and it's already sticky, like kind of calloused. So it's ready to just be put right into soil, and it'll go right into my grow tent, and that should grow really nicely. And there's two little cuttings of that. Hoya Obcordata, the newest addition to my small leaf Hoya collection. And then this is the one I really, really wanted. Do you savvy Hoya peeps out there, do you know what this is? Can you tell what it is by looking at it? Let me know in the comments. If you're a true Hoya head, you know what it is. If I were watching someone's video and they showed this, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. And I have a lot of Hoyas, and I have a lot of Hoya experience, but okay, are you ready for it? What this is? This is Hoya Carrii with a C. Hoya Carrii with a C. So it is Hoya, and it also has a number. It's NS13-064. I got this one for my collection, my small leaf Hoya collection. I just love the shape of these leaves. They're so cool. Just love it. So excited about this. And it's already has, it's got a little growth points on it here. Nice. I just have to root it up. Hopefully it will root nicely. And hopefully it will do well for me. So the newest addition to my small leaf Hoya collection, Hoya Carrii with a C. Love it. Love it. Ooh, so excited. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. Like, I'm pretty sure this is my entire small leaf Hoya collection. There was a lot, quite a few. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which was your favorite. Which was your favorite? Curious. Of all the ones I showed you, what maybe is on your wish list? Because that was my whole point for this video, is to have like a catalog of all of, well, not all. I don't have all the small leaf Hoyas available, but quite a few. Yeah, I just wanted to provide that for you, to give you inspiration, to inspire, to add to your wish list. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.